The crystalline palace walls shimmered with alien beauty as Princess Lyra stood before the assembled court of the Zephyrian Empire. Her silver hair caught the light of 3 suns streaming through the transparent dome above. Every alien dignitary in the vast chamber had come to witness this moment. The princess would choose her future consort from among the most prestigious suitors in the galaxy. Queen Valdris observed from her elevated throne, her 4 eyes tracking every movement below. The Zephyrian royal bloodline had never been diluted by human DNA. Today would not change that tradition. Commander Jake Morrison of the Human Royal Guard stood at attention near the eastern wall. His dark uniform marked him as foreign protection detail, nothing more. The other guards throughout the chamber represented dozens of species, but none drew the same dismissive glances as the lone human. Ambassador Kelthon of the Arcturian Federation stepped forward first. His 7-foot frame commanded respect, his blue-scaled skin catching the light like precious gems. "Princess Lyra, I offer the wealth of 17 star systems and the wisdom of my ancient people." Murmurs of approval rippled through the assembly. The Arcturians controlled the most profitable trade routes in this sector. Prince Zorax of the Titan Collective approached next. His mechanical augmentations gleamed as servos whirred with each step. "Princess, I bring the technological might of my cyber-enhanced civilization. Our union would create an unstoppable empire." More approving sounds echoed from the gathered nobles. Queen Valdris nodded slightly, her expression revealing satisfaction with these prestigious offers. Lord Vecthan of the Stellar Dominion glided forward on 6 powerful legs. His crystalline carapace reflected rainbow patterns across the floor. "Princess Lyra, accept my courtship and command the most feared military force in known space. Our children will rule with absolute authority." The chamber buzzed with excitement. 3 powerful suitors, each representing vast resources and political advantage. Princess Lyra stood motionless, her pale hands clasped before her. Oh. She had remained silent through each presentation, her expression unreadable. Jake Morrison maintained his position, eyes scanning the crowd for potential threats. His duty required constant vigilance, though he wondered why human protection had been requested for this ceremony. The other species clearly considered his presence unnecessary at best. Queen Valdris leaned forward slightly, waiting for her daughter's response. The princess had studied diplomatic protocol her entire life. She understood the political implications of this choice. The future of their empire hung in the balance. "I have heard your offers," Princess Lyra said, her voice carrying clearly through the hushed chamber. "Each represents great honor and substantial benefit to our people." Ambassador Kelthon straightened with confidence. Prince Zorax's mechanical joints clicked as he prepared to accept her selection. Lord Vecthan's compound eyes glittered with anticipation. Princess Lyra turned slowly, her gaze sweeping across the assembled dignitaries. Her eyes lingered on the human guard near the wall. Something shifted in her expression, a transformation that sent ripples of confusion through the watching crowd. "However," she continued, "I choose differently." Queen Valdris's 4 eyes widened simultaneously. The 3 suitors exchanged glances of sudden concern. Princess Lyra walked across the polished floor, her steps echoing in the growing silence. She moved past the alien nobility, past the trade representatives, past the military commanders. Her destination became clear with each measured step. Jake Morrison noticed her approach and straightened instinctively. Protocol demanded he remain motionless unless ordered otherwise. His training had not prepared him for this scenario. The princess stopped directly in front of him. The entire chamber fell into stunned silence. "I choose Commander Morrison of the Human Royal Guard," she announced, her voice unwavering. "I choose love over politics. I choose strength of character over material wealth. I choose the courage to protect others over the power to dominate them." The reaction was immediate and explosive. Gasps of shock echoed from every corner of the chamber. Several alien nobles began speaking rapidly in their native languages. Others simply stared in disbelief. Queen Valdris rose from her throne, her face displaying a mixture of rage and bewilderment. No Zephyrian princess had ever chosen a human consort. The royal bloodline had remained pure for millennia. Jake Morrison felt the weight of hundreds of alien eyes upon him. His training demanded he maintained composure regardless of circumstances, but nothing had prepared him for this moment. The princess stood before him, having just altered the course of interstellar politics with 7 words. Ambassador Kelthon stepped forward. "Princess, surely you cannot be serious. The political ramifications alone would destabilize 3 sectors. The economic implications exceed calculation," Prince Zorax added, his mechanical voice carrying an edge of indignation. Lord Vecthin's carapace shifted colors rapidly, a sign of extreme agitation among his species. This choice defies all logic and precedent. Princess Lyra did not turn to face them. Her eyes remained fixed on Jake Morrison's face, searching for his reaction to her declaration. The chamber erupted into chaos as representatives from dozens of worlds began voicing their objections simultaneously. The careful diplomatic protocols that had governed the ceremony dissolved into a cacophony of alien languages and heated debate. Queen Valdris descended from her throne, her expression darkening with each step. The future she had planned for her daughter and their empire crumbled before her eyes. Political alliances that had taken decades to forge now hung in jeopardy because of one impulsive decision. Jake Morrison understood that his response in the next few moments would reshape the balance of power across known space. The princess had chosen him, but the consequences of that choice had only just begun to unfold. Every eye in the chamber waited to see if the human guard would accept or decline the most dangerous honor in galactic history. The weight of interstellar diplomacy pressed down upon them all as the chamber's chaos continued to build. Princess Lyra's choice had been made, but the real test was about to begin. Queen Valdris raised one hand, and the chamber gradually fell silent. Her 4 eyes blazed with controlled fury as she addressed her daughter directly. "Lyra, you will reconsider this decision immediately. The consequences extend far beyond personal preference." Princess Lyra finally turned to face her mother. "I have considered carefully, Mother. Commander Morrison has proven his worth through actions, not birth circumstances or political connections." The Queen's jaw tightened. "He is human. Our bloodline has remained pure since the founding of our empire. You would risk everything for a species barely capable of interstellar travel." Jake Morrison remained at attention, though every instinct screamed at him to intervene. Diplomatic protocol forbade guards from speaking unless directly addressed by royalty. His silence could be interpreted as acceptance or rejection of the princess's choice. Ambassador Kelthon moved closer to the royal family. "Your Majesty, perhaps the princess requires time to fully understand the implications of her statement. The Arcturian Federation has always supported traditional Zephyrian customs." "The Titan Collective agrees," Prince Zorax interjected. "Emotional decisions made in public require careful reconsideration. We offer our technological resources to help analyze all possible outcomes." Lord Vectin's 6 legs clicked against the crystal floor. "The Stellar Dominion stands ready to provide security during this period of reflection. Sometimes external pressures influence judgment." Queen Valdris studied each speaker carefully. These powerful allies were offering their support, but their words carried implicit threats. If the princess maintained her choice, political relationships spanning centuries could fracture overnight. "Commander Morrison," the Queen said suddenly, her voice cutting through the tension, "you have remained silent during this discussion. What is your position regarding my daughter's declaration?" Every being in the chamber focused on the human guard. His response would either escalate the crisis or provide an opportunity for face-saving retreat. Jake Morrison met the Queen's gaze steadily. "Your Majesty, I serve at the pleasure of the royal family. My duty is to protect Princess Lyra's welfare, whatever form that takes." The carefully neutral response revealed nothing of his personal feelings while acknowledging his professional obligations. Princess Lyra's eyes searched his face for deeper meaning, but his expression remained professionally controlled. "That response addresses duty, not preference," Queen Valdris observed. "Do you accept or decline my daughter's proposal?" The directness of the question eliminated any possibility of diplomatic evasion. Jake Morrison understood that his next words would trigger either an interstellar incident or political humiliation for the princess who had honored him beyond measure. "I accept, Your Majesty," he said clearly. Princess Lyra deserves a consort who sees her true worth, not merely the advantages she represents. I would be honored to stand beside someone of such courage and integrity." The chamber exploded into renewed chaos. Alien voices rose in protest, translation devices struggling to keep pace with the multilingual outburst. Several delegates began activating communication devices, undoubtedly reporting this development to their home governments. Princess Lyra smiled for the first time since the ceremony began. Her choice had been validated by the one person whose opinion truly mattered to her. Queen Valdris watched the chaos with calculating eyes. Her daughter's decision could not be easily reversed without appearing weak to their allies and enemies alike. However, accepting a human into the royal family would require substantial political maneuvering to maintain their empire's stability. Ambassador Kelthon approached the throne area again. "Your Majesty, the Arcturian Federation requests immediate private consultation regarding trade agreements currently under negotiation. This development raises serious questions about future partnerships." Prince Zorax's mechanical components whirred as he processed rapid calculations. The Titan Collective's technological sharing agreements may require renegotiation under these changed circumstances. Our people will have concerns about human access to advanced systems. Lord Vecton's carapace had shifted to deep purple, indicating extreme displeasure among his species. "The Stellar Dominion must reassess our military cooperation treaties. Human involvement in Zephyrian strategic planning presents security complications." Each statement delivered the same message with diplomatic politeness. The three major allied powers were threatening to withdraw their support unless the princess reconsidered her choice. Queen Valdris understood the precarious position her daughter's decision had created. Losing these alliances would leave the Zephyrian Empire vulnerable to rivals who had been held in check by superior numbers and resources. "Princess Lyra," she said slowly, "your choice has implications beyond personal satisfaction. Are you prepared to risk our people's security for individual desire?" The question struck at the heart of royal responsibility. A monarch's personal choices could never be separated from their public duties. Princess Lyra had always understood this burden, but accepting it in this moment required remarkable strength. "Mother, I believe Commander Morrison's character will strengthen our empire rather than weaken it. Humans possess qualities our traditional allies lack. Their loyalty is earned through respect rather than political necessity. Their courage comes from conviction rather than calculation." Jake Morrison remained silent, but her words revealed the depth of observation that had led to her choice. She had studied him carefully over the months of his assignment, noting qualities that others had dismissed or overlooked. Queen Valdris considered her daughter's words while monitoring the continued agitation throughout the chamber. The political crisis was real, but perhaps not insurmountable if handled with sufficient skill and patience. "Very well," she announced, her voice carrying throughout the vast space. "The princess has made her choice. However, given the significant implications for our empire, I decree a formal engagement period of 1 full cycle. During this time, we will renegotiate existing treaties and establish new protocols to address our allies' concerns. This compromise provided face-saving opportunities for all parties while giving political machinery time to adjust to the new reality. The engagement period would allow emotions to cool while practical solutions emerged." Ambassador Kelthon's posture relaxed slightly. "The Arcturian Federation appreciates your Majesty's wisdom in providing time for proper adjustment of existing agreements." Prince Zorax nodded his mechanical head. "The Titan Collective finds this approach acceptable for addressing security considerations regarding technological access." Lord Vecton's carapace gradually shifted toward a more neutral coloration. "The Stellar Dominion will use this period to develop appropriate protocols for military cooperation involving human participation. The immediate crisis had been diffused through skillful diplomacy, but everyone understood that the real work was just beginning. Princess Lyra had won her choice, but maintaining it would require careful navigation of complex political waters." Jake Morrison finally allowed himself a small smile as he realized his life had just changed beyond recognition. The princess had chosen him, and now he had to prove worthy of both her trust and the massive responsibility that came with royal marriage. The ceremony that was supposed to have been a simple political arrangement had instead become the opening move in a complex game of interstellar diplomacy. Every decision going forward would require careful consideration of consequences that rippled across multiple worlds and species. Queen Valdris observed the gradually calming chamber with satisfaction. Her daughter's impulsive choice had been contained within manageable parameters. The next cycle would determine whether love could truly triumph over politics in the harsh reality of galactic governance. The formal engagement period began immediately, transforming the palace into a center of intense diplomatic activity. Representatives from dozens of worlds arrived daily to renegotiate treaties and trade agreements. Princess Lyra and Jake Morrison found themselves at the center of complex discussions that would reshape interstellar relationships. Queen Valdris assigned her most skilled diplomats to manage the delicate process of maintaining existing alliances while accommodating her daughter's choice. Ambassador Kelthon proved surprisingly cooperative once assured that Arcturian trade privileges would remain intact. The prospect of human markets opening to Arcturian goods actually enhanced their economic position. Prince Zorax required more complex negotiations. His people's technological superiority had always been their primary diplomatic asset. Including humans in strategic planning sessions raised legitimate security concerns about classified information reaching less advanced civilizations. Jake Morrison addressed these worries during a private meeting with Zephyrian military leadership. "My loyalty is to Princess Lyra and her people. Human governments have no claim on information I might learn through royal marriage. Your secrets remain protected." His straightforward declaration impressed the assembled generals. Unlike many politicians, the Human Guard spoke without hidden agendas or diplomatic double meaning. His word carried weight because it was given so rarely and carefully. Lord Vecthan presented the greatest challenge. The Stellar Dominion's military culture emphasized species purity and genetic superiority. Accepting a human into the Zephyrian royal family contradicted their fundamental beliefs about interspecies relationships. Princess Lyra personally met with Vectran's delegation. "Your people value strength above all else. I ask you to observe Commander Morrison's actions rather than judge his species. True strength comes from character, not biology." She arranged for Jake Morrison to participate in various military exercises and strategic planning sessions. His performance consistently exceeded expectations, earning grudging respect from even the most skeptical observers. Humans might lack advanced technology, but their tactical thinking and adaptability impressed professional soldiers. The engagement period also provided time for personal adjustment. Princess Lyra and Jake Morrison spent hours discussing the realities of their unprecedented situation. Both understood that their relationship existed under constant scrutiny from multiple governments and species. "Are you certain about this choice?" Jake Morrison asked during one of their private conversations in the palace gardens. "You could have chosen security and vast resources. Instead, you picked uncertainty and political complications." Princess Lyra smiled as she watched alien birds circle the crystal spires above them. "I chose authenticity over convenience. Every interaction we've had has been genuine. You've never tried to impress me with false charm or exaggerated accomplishments. That honesty is worth more than all the resources in the galaxy." Her explanation revealed the careful observation that had led to her public declaration. Royal life was filled with people seeking advantage through marriage connections. Finding someone who valued her as an individual rather than a political opportunity was extraordinarily rare. Jake Morrison understood the weight of her trust. "I won't pretend this will be easy. Human Zephyrian relationships have no precedent to follow. We'll be writing the rules as we go." "That's exactly why I chose you," she replied. "You see challenges as problems to solve rather than obstacles to avoid. That mindset will serve us well in the years ahead." Their conversations were monitored by security teams from multiple species, but both had expected constant surveillance. Royal marriages always involved public interest, and this one carried additional complications that justified enhanced observation. Queen Valdris watched her daughter's growing confidence with mixed emotions. Lyra had always been thoughtful and decisive, but this choice revealed maturity that hadn't been evident before. Perhaps the Human Guard's influence was already proving beneficial. The political negotiations reached critical stages as the engagement period progressed. Several minor species announced their intention to join the Zephyrian Empire specifically because of Princess Lyra's unprecedented choice. They viewed her decision as evidence of progressive thinking and equality that their people valued. This unexpected development strengthened the Queen's position in discussions with major allies. The Empire was actually growing more influential rather than weaker as a result of the princess's choice. Human inclusion might prove advantageous rather than problematic if properly managed. Ambassador Kelthon privately admitted to Queen Valdris that his government had underestimated human potential. Their technological development rate exceeds our projections by significant margins. Including them in your empire could provide strategic advantages within 50 years. Prince Zorax reached similar conclusions through detailed analysis. Human cybernetic compatibility approaches Titan collective standards. Future technological collaboration could benefit both civilizations substantially. Even Lord Vecthan began acknowledging human military capabilities after extensive observation. Commander Morrison's tactical innovations impressed our senior staff. Human creativity in warfare may compensate for their technological limitations. These assessments gradually transformed the political landscape surrounding the royal engagement. What had initially appeared to be a diplomatic crisis was evolving into a strategic opportunity for the Zephyrian Empire. Jake Morrison spent considerable time studying Zephyrian culture, history, and diplomatic protocols. His position as future royal consort required understanding complex relationships between dozens of species and governments. The learning curve was steep, but his military training provided useful frameworks for processing vast amounts of information. Princess Lyra guided his education personally, sharing insights that formal diplomatic training couldn't provide. She explained the subtle cultural differences that could make or break interspecies negotiations. Her patient instruction revealed both her intelligence and her commitment to their relationship's success. The engagement period also allowed both partners to address practical concerns about their future together. Biological compatibility required medical consultation with experts from multiple species. Zephyrian human genetics had never been studied extensively, but preliminary analysis suggested no major obstacles to successful pairing. Cultural integration posed more complex challenges. Human customs differed significantly from Zephyrian traditions in areas ranging from family structures to religious practices. Both partners would need to adapt while maintaining their individual identities. "We're creating something entirely new," Princess Lyra observed. "Our children will inherit traits from both cultures, potentially combining the best elements of each. That possibility excites me more than any traditional marriage could." Her enthusiasm was infectious, helping Jake Morrison envision positive outcomes from their unprecedented union. They were indeed pioneering new territory in interspecies relationships, with all the opportunities and challenges that entailed. As the formal engagement period neared its conclusion, political tensions had largely resolved into workable compromises. The Zephyrian Empire had emerged stronger rather than weaker from the initial crisis. Princess Lyra's choice was vindicated through careful diplomacy and practical demonstration of human capabilities. Queen Valdris prepared for the engagement ceremony that would formally seal her daughter's choice. The event would be smaller than the original mate selection gathering, but its significance would be far greater. The princess had proven that love could indeed triumph over politics when supported by wisdom, courage, and careful planning. The engagement ceremony took place in the same crystal chamber where Princess Lyra had first announced her choice. Representatives from allied governments filled the viewing areas, their presence demonstrating acceptance of the unprecedented union. The months of careful negotiation had transformed potential enemies into cautious supporters. Queen Valdris stood before her assembled court wearing ceremonial robes that had been passed down through 17 generations of Zephyrian rulers. The ancient garments carried the weight of tradition, but today they would witness the beginning of something entirely new in royal history. Princess Lyra entered wearing a gown that blended Zephyrian design with subtle human influences. The hybrid styling symbolized the culture fusion that her marriage would represent. Her confidence had grown throughout the engagement period as political obstacles had been systematically overcome through patient diplomacy. Jake Morrison wore the formal dress uniform of the Human Royal Guard, modified with Zephyrian ceremonial elements to honor both traditions. His posture reflected the military bearing that had first attracted the princess's attention, but his expression revealed the depth of emotion that their relationship had developed. Ambassador Kelthon stepped forward as the first witness. The Arcturian Federation formally recognizes this union and pledges continued friendship with the Zephyrian Empire. May this marriage bring prosperity to all our peoples. His statement carried significant weight because it represented the most powerful trading confederation in the sector. Arcturian recognition legitimized the marriage in the eyes of dozens of smaller governments that followed their diplomatic lead. Prince Zorax activated his ceremonial processors as he approached the royal couple. The Titan Collective acknowledges this unprecedented alliance and offers our technological resources to support the new partnership. Innovation requires courage to explore uncharted territories. The prince's mechanical voice carried programming that indicated genuine respect rather than mere diplomatic politeness. His people had concluded that human-Zephyrian cooperation could advance cybernetic research in unexpected directions. Lord Vecton's approach was more dramatic as his 6 legs carried him across the crystal floor in perfect synchronization. His carapace displayed colors that signified formal military honors among his species. The Stellar Dominion salutes the courage demonstrated by both partners. True warriors accept challenges that others fear to face. Each declaration strengthened the political foundations supporting the royal marriage. The potential crisis had been transformed into an opportunity for enhanced cooperation between multiple civilizations. Queen Valdris raised her hand for silence as the formal ceremony began. Today we witness the union of 2 beings who chose love over convenience, character over calculation, and hope over fear. Their courage has shown us that strength comes not from isolation, but from embracing worthy partnerships regardless of their origin. The Queen's words carried particular significance because she had initially opposed her daughter's choice. Her public support represented a complete transformation of perspective based on observed results rather than theoretical concerns. Princess Lyra and Jake Morrison exchanged vows that had been carefully crafted to honor both human and Zephyrian traditions. Their promises addressed not only personal commitment, but also their shared responsibility to advance interspecies understanding through their example. I pledge my loyalty to Princess Lyra and to the people of the Zephyrian Empire, Jake Morrison declared. Our union represents more than personal happiness. We accept the responsibility to prove that love transcends species boundaries when built on mutual respect and shared values. Princess Lyra's response reflected equal understanding of their unique position. I choose Commander Morrison not despite his humanity, but because of the qualities that humanity has given him. Our marriage will demonstrate that strength comes from diversity, not uniformity. The ceremony continued, with rituals from both cultures blended into something new yet respectful of ancient traditions. Witnesses from dozens of worlds observed protocols that had never been performed before, but felt familiar because they honored universal values of commitment and partnership. As the formal proceedings concluded, Queen Valdris presented the couple with a specially commissioned crystal sculpture that would serve as the symbol of their union. The artwork depicted intertwined figures, representing different species united in common purpose, its design suggesting harmony emerging from diversity. The celebration that followed provided opportunities for informal diplomacy as representatives from various governments mingled freely. The relaxed atmosphere encouraged frank discussions about future cooperation that formal negotiations might not have achieved. Ambassador Kelthon spent considerable time speaking with human diplomatic representatives who had arrived for the ceremony. Trade agreements that had been theoretical possibilities became concrete negotiations as both sides recognized mutual benefits from expanded cooperation. Prince Zorax demonstrated several technological innovations to Zephyrian scientists, sparking collaborative discussions about research projects that could benefit multiple species. The Titan Collective's willingness to share knowledge reflected their confidence in the new political alignment. Lord Vecton engaged in strategic discussions with Zephyrian military commanders about joint training exercises that would include human participants. The Stellar Dominion's acceptance of human tactical expertise marked a significant shift in their attitudes toward cross-species military cooperation. Princess Lyra and Jake Morrison moved through the celebration receiving congratulations from beings they would work with for decades to come. Their acceptance as a legitimate royal couple was evident in the respectful treatment they received from even former skeptics. The success of the engagement ceremony validated Queen Valdris's decision to support her daughter's choice. The Zephyrian Empire had emerged from the crisis stronger and more influential than before. Political relationships that had seemed threatened by the princess's decision were actually enhanced through careful handling of complex negotiations. As the celebration continued into the night, the participants understood that they were witnessing more than a royal wedding. This event marked the beginning of a new era in interspecies relations, where traditional barriers could be overcome through courage, wisdom, and genuine respect for differences. The crystal chamber that had witnessed Princess Lyra's shocking announcement months earlier now hosted the formal celebration of her choice. The transformation from crisis to triumph demonstrated the power of patient diplomacy combined with unwavering commitment to principled decisions. Jake Morrison understood that his role had evolved far beyond personal happiness. He was now a symbol of human potential and a bridge between civilizations that had previously maintained careful distance. The responsibility was enormous, but Princess Lyra's confidence in his abilities provided strength to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Queen Valdris observed the successful gathering with deep satisfaction. Her daughter had proven that love could indeed triumph over politics when supported by intelligence, courage, and careful attention to practical consequences. The Zephyrian Empire would be stronger because of this unprecedented union. As the evening concluded, the participants departed with plans for expanded cooperation that would reshape interstellar relationships for generations to come. Princess Lyra's choice had created ripple effects that extended far beyond her personal happiness, demonstrating that individual courage could indeed change the course of galactic history. The Crystal Palace stood silent under alien stars as the last guest departed. But the foundations of a new era in interspecies cooperation had been firmly established. Love had triumphed over politics through the simple expedient of proving itself worthy of respect through consistent demonstration of its value.